What's up guys, it's Josh from KeepItTechie, and today I want to do a quick video showing you guys Cron. Okay, cool. So as I stated in the intro of the video, I want to talk to you guys about Cron, which is a very useful utility that's used within the Linux/Unix operating system in order to schedule commands. It's similar to the task manager in Windows. If you have experience working with Windows servers or Windows systems in general, they have what they call a task manager where you can schedule things to actually run at a specific time. Well, in Linux/Unix operating systems, they have an application or a utility called Cron that is used for this purpose. And you can go in and actually modify and run scripts. You can run applications at a given time that you set within the Cron configuration file. And I wanted to walk you guys through this whole process and basically just to list out a few of the things that can be done. And I know I was kind of general earlier, that's why I wanted to explain it a little bit more. But like running scheduled backups, you know what I'm saying? You can tie a rsync script to cron job. You can monitor, the disk space. You could drop that information into a text file or a log file that you could look at periodically throughout the day, so you can see the disk space, or just deleting specific files. So let's say you have like a whole bunch of log files that are taking up a bunch of space and they're generated rapidly. Well, you can create a cron job at the end of the day where to go in and delete those old log files out to free up disk space on your system. And then also you could do things like running like system maintenance tasks. You can have scripts to handle things like that. But in general, you can pretty much do everything with the cron jobs. And in this video, I want to cover how to actually use it and give you a few examples on how to actually set one up. So let's get started on that. Okay, cool. So I have my terminal up, and one thing I want to do is show you the actual two programs that work together in order to manage jobs on the system. And for one is Cron, and the other one is Crontab. And Crontab is used to actually edit the files that are created by users on the system, and Cron is used to actually run those files based on what's specified in the actual files, because each user can go in and actually create their own Cron tab file, and those files are actually stored under var spool, I believe. And let me go on and just bring up the man page for Cron first, just to show you the daemon. Now if we type man Cron and press enter, and as you can see, Cron D, that's basically what Cron is. It's a daemon to execute scheduled commands. And if we read down here, it says Cron is started from etc rc.d init.d or etc init.d when classically Symbonet scripts are used. In case systemd is enabled, then unit files is installed in lib systemd system and then cron_d.service, and the daemon is started by systemctl start cron_d.service command. It returns immediately, thus there is no need to start it with the and parameter. So let me read a little bit more, but this is where Cron actually looks for the cron jobs, or looks for the actual files that are created by users, or tasks, so to speak, if you want to use that term. But Cron searches var spool cron for Crontab files, which are named after accounts in etc password, which is where the users are stored. And we all know that I showed you guys the password file under etc, and those are considered valid users for the system. So if that user is not in the password file under etc, then it won't recognize it. It'll verify it based on the accounts. So that's kind of a security feature, and I wanted to point that out to you guys, that that's how Cron actually works. It looks for those files and then it executes them based on the settings that are put into each one of those files. Okay, now let me quit this man page and show you guys the other command that you actually need to run. Well, this command you don't really have to mess with unless Cron is not working for some reason, but it runs in the background normally. In most Linux distributions, Cron is started by default. It's one of like the default utilities that is included within the OS. Now let me show you the other command like I stated. So that's man cron tab, and this is how you actually create a file. And so as you can see right here, it says Crontab maintains Crontab files for individual users, and these are the ways to actually run it. So you can run Crontab-user, you can run it against another user, and if you don't have permissions to run against that user, you might have to be root or run that sudo in order to modify those files. And then they also have other options there. You can check out those options like for the host name, as well as -C and -V. You can check those out as well. But Crontab is a program used to install a Crontab table file, remove and list the existing tables used to serve the Cron daemon. Each user have their own Crontab, and though these are files in var spool, they are not intended to be edited directly. And that's one thing I want to let you guys know as well. You're not supposed to just go in and type like sudo nano or your favorite text editor and just edit those Crontab files directly. That's the whole purpose of Crontab, the command. There is a command for you to actually run, and it's basically, the option is -E, and I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But that's how you actually edit the Crontab for the current user that you logged into, or your user account. And then once it's created and specified correctly on what you actually want to do, then the Cron daemon is in the background running, and it'll execute the commands based on what you specify in the Crontab file. And let me scroll down a little bit because I kind of wanted to show you one option, and this will be that option that we're actually going to use, and it is E. It says edits the current Crontab using the editor specified by the visual or editor environmental variable. So it basically uses whatever variable that you have set for your editor. So my editor is nano. Yours may be something different. If it's VI or Vim, then hopefully you know how to use VI or Vim, because that's what's set. But you can go in, you can obviously go in and change that. If you guys don't know that, I might make a video for that in the future, but you can modify your variables that are like environmental variables that are set on your system to actually edit this file. But that's the only option I'm gonna actually show you guys today. So let's go on and get to that part of it. I'm gonna quit out of the man page, and we'll go through and show you guys how to actually modify the Crontab file. And I'll actually be doing a real world scenario because I have a Python script that I actually run that retweets a whole bunch of Twitter things based on the tag words that are associated with the tweets. And I want to show you guys that as well, because I didn't show much within the Python video that I just recently did, but I wanted to at least show you some Python or example of some Python so you guys can see it work real time. And just to kind of explain it a little bit more, the way the Twitter bot actually works, I created a bash script that calls all the Python commands that need to be ran in order to retweet all the tweets that it finds on the website that I'm interested in. So I'll show you guys a little bit of that as well in this video. Now let's go on and get to editing the Crontab job. Now before we edit it, I want to run one command just to show you how to actually list the Crontab file that's set up for the current user. So all you have to do is type Crontab and then -L, just like any other command or utility in Linux. -L is most of the time list, and that's basically what this means in this case as well. So if we press enter, you'll see that I don't have anything created for Josh currently. Let's go on and clear the screen now, and let's go on and get to editing. Now let's go on and run Crontab -e and press enter. And as you can see, mine's already defaulted to nano, and this is the Crontab file that's generated for Josh. And let me go on and paste in some information that will help us with creating the Crontab file. So let's hit paste, and that'll give us just some information. If you ever show up like that, there are plenty of examples out there, and that's another thing I'm gonna show you a little later. It's a place where you can actually create the Crontab information. So all this is commented out, but I just wanted to go through all the fields. It's actually 5 fields that you have to specify, and there are other options that you can go in to add to this that will help you guys kind of understand it. But these are the basic 5 fields. It's actually 6, but the first 5 fields are the most important, and they're the hardest to remember and understand. And not really, they're not that hard. You just have to remember what they are. But the first field is actually minutes. The second field is hour. The next one is day of month. The next one is month. The next one is the day of week. And let me go on and create my first cron schedule, or my scheduled cron job, just show you guys how to actually do it. Now we have to basically follow that format. So the first format is every minute or minutes. It could be from 0 to 59, like it states right there. So let's say you want to run something at a specific time, or like let's say 5 p.m. every single day. Well, you have to specify 0 for the minutes, and then you, between each one of these numbers, you have to put a space. So I just want to specify that. So let's say you wanted to run at 5 p.m. every single day, and then you have to use the 24-hour format for the hour. So 5 p.m. is 1700. So 17 is the hour that you wanted to run. And then that's pretty much it. But you have to put an asterisk for each space, for each field that you don't want to specify anything else on. So it's kind of like the asterisk actually means it matches anything. So it's a wild card pretty much. But since we have this specified right here, it'll run every day of the month, which is every day. And if you put an asterisk for the next one, this is every month, and then put an asterisk for the week. So that covers every single thing that we need to cover as far as what we wanted to, how we wanted to run. So like I stated, this will be the first minute of the hour, and then the hour is 1700, and then every day of the month, and then each month, and every day of the week. And then all you have to do is put a space in between it, and then what you want to run every single day at 5 p.m. And all you have to do is specify in script, or let's say a rsync command. You want to put that in there, you could do that. But like I stated, I want to run a actual bash script that I created, and this will actually run my Twitter bot. So let's go Josh, and I'm gonna put the absolute path, and that's what you want to do. You want to put the absolute path to the actual script that you want to run. And just to make it a little bit quicker, I went on and copied the location just to make it a little bit quicker, and then the actual name of the bot script that I created is basically bot.sh. And so that'll run that file every day at 5 p.m. Now, I'm not going to save this yet because I want to show you guys a couple more ways to actually modify the times if you want to. Let's say you wanted to run at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. every single day. So it's a way to actually specify multiple hours within a day. And it's the same thing with minutes. You could do multiple minutes, but I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna just stick with the hours. So let's say 5 a.m. So the way you do that is actually by typing the number 5, and then if you have more than 1 hour that you want to specify, you just put a comma in between it, and that will call that script at 5 a.m. and then at 5 p.m. every single day because of the asterisk. So we're good to go for that. And so let me go down and save it now. I'm gonna hit Control X, and then we're gonna save this actual file. And as you can see, everything above the Cron edits that we made is commented out with the pound sign or hashtag sign, what people call it now. And you can save it and that'll be fine. Press enter, and then as you can see, it gives you some feedback after you finish. It says Crontab, install a new Crontab. So you're good to go. Now let's say you're having a hard time on remembering how to put the times in there for your Crontab job that you want to schedule. Well, let me show you a website that I typically use a lot of times where I just need a little information on creating my own Crontab. This thing will actually give you the information based on whatever you put in there, and it also has some examples as well. But this is Crontab Guru, or Crontab.group Guru, and like I stated, this will give you some information. And let me read the top. It says the quick and simple editor for Crontab scheduling or schedule expressions by Croninator. So as you can see, this is an example, and you can just click the randomer and it will randomize the Crontabs that you could, the Crontab times that you could put in. Like for instance, this one that it generated, this does it every 15 minutes, at 2 o'clock, and 1 day a month, the first day out of the month. And so that kind of gives you a little information on how to actually use it, you know what I'm saying? And it also has this explanation here up at the top, where it tells you exactly what these numbers are doing within your Cron job that you create, or the Cron that it created for you. And then you can go in here and specify whichever one you want to, or specify whatever you want to, and then copy this and put it into your Crontab job or your Crontab. And this will allow you to create a schedule for whatever job you want to run at a specific time. So I recommend you guys check this out, you know, use this. I'll put the link to this in the description of the video. Like I said, this is a good resource to help you guys out if you need any help with this. Lastly, what I want to do is show you guys the Python script that I'm actually going to run daily at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. every single day. It's the Twitter bot that I was talking about. So let me switch over to Atom, which should pop up in a second. But I have my, and let me go down and zoom in on this so you guys can see a little better. Okay, cool. So I zoomed in on it just to make it a little bit better so you guys can see better. But this is my Twitter bot project folder that I created for my Twitter bot, and that's what I actually linked in my Crontab file. Now this is the actual bash script that will run and call all of my Python scripts. And if you guys want a copy of this, just let me know, I'll send it to you. But let me just show you this. This actually calls my Python scripts. So each one of my Python scripts, it calls them one at a time. And then each one of my Python scripts are down here. Now this right here is something that you need. I won't show you this. I'll actually create one for you guys with just some generic information and basically on how to actually get the information that you need. Because basically what that is my login credentials for Twitter to connect to their API. So that's my keys or whatever to connect to it, and you have to get your keys from Twitter in order to actually use this bot. Now let me go down and open up the Python script, and each one of these is an exact copy. It just looks for a specific tag word within the API, and once it finds that tag word, then it will, you know, repost that tweet and also like the tweet. Because I don't know, one thing I liked about it, you can actually, you know, like the tweets as well without actually seeing what they actually are, you know what I'm saying? So this is basically how I set up my bot. Now I found this information from someone else actually created this bot, so don't think I actually wrote this. I took it and modified it based on the way I wanted it to work. And so it'll search for hashtags or keywords. You could put hashtags or keywords, and one of them, or this one specifically, is looking for Black Tech Twitter. So it basically finds tweets out there that have the hashtag Black Tech Twitter, and it'll look for 5 of them, I believe, yeah, 5, and then it'll find them, you know, and it will retweet them and then and like them, you know, from my accounts. And then also I had to put a sleep function in here, I believe, where it'll break for a certain amount of time. So because with Twitter, it'll start timing out, or it'll looks at it like it understands that it's a bot, and they allow bots. It's plenty of people out here that have bots on Twitter, but in order to make it seem more human-like, I put a random time within the script that will get it to sleep a certain amount of time, and I believe I put a random time in it, so it'll look like it's actually somebody doing this versus a bot doing it. And then also, just to explain a little bit more, right here is where it pulls in my credentials and then authenticates with the API, just so you know I can authenticate. And it's basically calling it from that file, that secret file or key.py file that I have up there. Now that's pretty much all I wanted to show you guys. Actually, one thing I'm gonna do is run this script just so you guys can see it actually run, and I won't let it run the full time, because I'll let it run the full time, but I'm gonna cut the video off on that part of it, because it does take a little time to actually run it, because the way I want it to run, like I stated, is if a human was actually on Twitter scrolling, you know, see a post and be like, oh, this is cool, and then retweet it and like the actual post. So just running it, and just the way it's called in the script is basically calling that SHA file. So let's cd to that directory, and it's Python underscore KIT, and then I can't remember the folder name, TwitterBot. Okay, so TwitterBots, and then that's the directory that we need to get into. And let me ls it just to make sure this is the right directory. Yes, it is. And so as you can see, this script is executable. It's already executable. That's why it's showing green, and I just know that from, you know, messing around with stuff in the terminal a lot. But all I have to do is type in that actual file name to get it to run, and you can create that as well for yourself. And as you can see, it'll go through. It says bot found tweet by coder retweeter attempting to retweet, and then it says retweet published successfully. And then now it's waiting until, you know, the random amount of time that I specified for it to wait before it looks for another tweet that it wants to retweet. So let me go down. I might actually cancel it because I don't want to, you know, worry about it or whatever. But that's pretty much how that bot works. And I know that kind of took the video another direction, but I hope you guys got some good information on how to use Crontab. It's not that hard to actually use. And actually, let me go back into the terminal right fast and just show you one more thing. So I'm gonna go Crontab and then -L, and that's just to list out what we already have in there. And as you can see, that is what we have in there. That bot should run at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. every single day, you know, on the dot, it'll run. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave comments down in the comment boxes below, and of course, keep it techie.